In this movie, I'll show you how to enter a custom zoom value, which is great for establishing a wide-centered view. Now, as I was saying, anytime you first open an image, it's going to open at the nearest incremental zoom level that will allow you to take in the entire image at a time, which in the case of this image and this screen happens to be 16.7%. Let's say I want to zoom in a little farther, but still take in the entire image. I could press Ctrl-0 or Command-0 on the Mac, but Photoshop's pretty conservative. It goes ahead and retains a little bit of this gray pasteboard around the entire image. Let's say I don't want to see any of that pasteboard whatsoever. Well, I can drop down to this value in the lower left corner of the window and notice that it's telling me the exact zoom ratio, which happens to be 19.69%. If I double click on that value to select it, then I can enter a different value such as, let's say, 20% and then press the Enter key or the Return key on the Mac. That does zoom me in just a little bit, but not far enough. Now you can see how if every time you have to double click on this value and then enter a different value and then press return, and then you have to check out to see if it's going to work or not, that gets to be a little tedious over time, which is why there's another way to work. I'll go ahead and select the value as I did before, and this time I'll press the up arrow key a couple of times in a row. Every time you press the up arrow key, you're going to raise that value. So I've taken it up to 22%. If I press the down arrow key, I'm going to reduce the value. In my case, I've taken it down to 20% now. Anyway, I'm going to press the up arrow key a couple of times to take it back to 22%. Photoshop does not preview that zoom ratio on the fly. You either have to press the Enter key or the Return key on the Mac, or you can press Shift Enter or Shift Return. And what that does is it applies the zoom level and it goes ahead and leaves the value selected down here in the lower left corner of the window, which allows me to say, all right, this is better. I'm zoomed in farther, but I can still see a little bit of the pasteboard over here on the left and right sides of the image. So I'll press the up arrow key one more time to take that value to 23%, and then I'll press Shift Enter or Shift Return in order to apply that value, and lo and behold, that happens to work exactly right, at which point I'll press the Enter key or the Return key on the Mac in order to deselect the value in the lower left corner of the window. All right, now there's one more trick, and I guarantee you this is a trick that nobody you know knows. Go ahead and talk to somebody who's been using Photoshop since it first came out, and they will be astounded by what you're about to learn. And the great thing about this trick is it's the best incremental zoom trick there is. It gives you the most control of all of them. And what you do is you hover your cursor over this value in the lower left corner of the window, and then you press and hold the Control key or the Command key on the Mac, and you get this little scrubby cursor, at which point you can drag to the right in order to zoom in and preview the effect on the fly like so, or you can scrub to the left to zoom out and preview the effect as well. And the great thing about this trick, why I like it so much, is because it is so precise. You get 1% for every screen pixel that you drag. So you can see that I'm moving now from 25% to 26% to 27% and so forth, which is an amazing degree of control. But of course, I was pretty happy with 23%, so I'll just go ahead and type in 23 once again and press the Enter key here on the PC or the Return key on the Mac. So whenever you want to dial in a custom zoom value, just remember that you've got this value available to you all the time down here in the lower left corner of the window. And if you want to zoom on the fly, all you have to do is press the Control key or the Command key and scrub that value in order to zoom in and out with the highest degree of precision available to you here inside Photoshop. In this movie, I'll show you how to enter a custom zoom value, which is great for establishing a wide-centered view. Now, as I was saying, anytime you first open an image, it's going to open at the nearest incremental zoom level that will allow you to